Alright, so now that we understand the basics of how this works, we're just going to jump in and start making a custom light fixture. So to get this started, I'm just pick this as a reference, as something that pretty nice fixture. It's got some nice features, and it's seems simple, but there's enough complication here that I think it should be pretty interesting for us to attempt to make it work. Alright, so this is our reference material, and let's see how we start making this work. We could jump right into Revit and start modeling this, but I think the best thing is that we're gonna learn a little bit about how we're gonna move from Rhino into Revit. So, you know, oftentimes when you're making your first custom pieces, you know, we can use Rhino as at least the first place to kind of begin to design the piece, and then once we really understand it, then maybe we rebuild it in Revit, or perhaps Rhino's the only place that we do some of the customization. That's fine. The important part is that you're always customizing. You're not just kind of letting Revit families that you can find on the line, you know, be your only source for creativity, because that's not creative. Alright, so let's just open up a small objects, inches. We want to stay in inches. And alright, and I don't like having the grid, but it's your call. I also like white, but again, your call. White has its issues, but I kind of like thinking of the Rhino canvas is just kind of this blank slate, and the gray for me is kind of weird. Okay, so we're at inches. We're going to have our light sources. Again, bring up our, maybe I should split screen this and have, okay, get that over there, and yeah, we'll just move this and cover up one of them. Alright, cool. So that is our reference, and let's start attacking it. So more than likely, we'll use where it's attaching to the wall as the main location of 0, 0, the origin, and so we'll go to front view, and from the front view, let's just start to kind of rough this thing out. And it's not going to be perfect at first. So if we go rectangle, go center, center's at 0, 0. That thing, let's just imagine that is probably I'm going to say a 4 by 2.5. That could be, alright, so we're going to say 4, and let's say 2.5. And let's see, I just like to check as soon as I begin a project to make sure I'm thinking about the units in the right way. We'll fill it at the corners. Let's just say that is a 1/4 inch. Alright, that's about right. And it looks like there's a kind of an oval kind of casing behind it. Yeah, probably it's more of, if I did an offset of this, say 1/2 inch, and then rounded the, let's say that's more like an inch, or say 3/4. looks about right. Okay, and then it looks like we have about a, let's say, a 1/2 inch rod. So these two pieces are coming off. And I'm roughing this in, so so we're not doing any kind of modeling. We're just kind of getting the base structure right. So none of this should be anything new, but I always find it interesting to see how different people model, and I think there's really no right or wrong, but it's always interesting. Not sure if I have shown you guys. I probably haven't in this class. Definitely haven't in this class. But it's possible to give yourself shortcuts in Rhino, which is pretty cool. And I'm not sure I've actually. I think I put some of them in. So I thought maybe I should show you that, because some of these my commands may not be like your commands, and I'm just going to show you why. So under options, you have aliases, and here you can set up kind of all the things that you want to have as your major quick keys. And you'll see that mine are dramatically different than yours, and you can export these, and then you can also import, and so I've created a file for myself that allows me to always just kind of load up anytime that I'm I have to get a new Rhino, or it reinstalls and it kind of mucks up what I had before. Is I have that's my studio, Nighthawk. I have this text file, and in that text file I build it basically by exporting this list and then seeing how it's structured, and then creating my own. But one that I would recommend that you do, you'll see me use it a lot, like move face. That's a critical tool. I'll probably start using it here shortly. So that one's a nice one. There's the move edge is another good one. Just getting these fillets and the offsets to be the way that you think of them. And basically, I'm trying to use every command that I use a lot. Make sure that that's like two keystrokes, not any more than that. And so so it's a Boolean difference. These I use a lot too. So whatnot. That maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. Okay, so we're gonna now do some more offsetting. So I'm gonna assume that this steel is by 16 gauge, so we're going to go 16th inch. 16 gauge it just happens to be 16th inch. That don't think that like 12 gauge is 12th of an inch. That's not how it works. Alright, so we're setting that up. Set that up. Alright, so we have the main structure. Alright, I think we have enough now. We can start modeling. So so now we're going to extrude that. How much are we going to extrude that? Let's say it's an inch. So this is where EC for me is extrude curve. It may not be for you. This might be a good time to go from front to perspective, and from wireframe to, okay, cool. Alright, that's good. Do we need to be solid versus surface? I don't know. I think we're fine. We're going to move this out an inch. We're going to extrude that. Now this might be extrude surface. Okay, that doesn't work. So this might be a good time to do a solid curve extrude, because we do want this to be, you know, and as I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to try to keep, instead of just being surface modeling, I'm going to try to go ahead and be solid modeling. What that means is that the surface obviously doesn't even have thickness, right? Because I haven't given it any thickness. I've just kind of rendered the surface. So it really, in some modeling software, that really doesn't even exist in the world until it has thickness. So I can give it thickness by, in this case, I can offset surface, and I want to flip. I want to keep the exterior exactly how I am. I'm going to have, so I'm going to flip it. I'm just going to go ahead and, even though this might be a little thick for how it would be manufactured, I'm going to go and just keep it that. Alright, so once you do that, now it's a solid form. So let's just do solid, curve, straight, and then we're going to give it alright, things are looking good. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and I extruded it this way. I'm going to push that back so that this is at 1 inch, that surface, not this side. And so I'm going to move now these guys to 1 inch. Alright, so now we're ready to build a rectangle. What's going on? Build a rectangle here, there, grab that curve. We're going to extrude from solid. How far does that go out? Maybe, see if this is 4 would be about there, another 4, let's say 10 inches. And then we'll take a look. And then that extrusion, we should be able to just mirror it. Okay. Give it that same angle. Yeah, that looks pretty. Looks pretty reasonable, actually. So let's go with that. All right, we're getting close. That right there, I'm really not liking that those two things collided. And maybe I'm going to go ahead and move this back to that 1/16 of an inch. Okay. Alright, now we just need the rod and the bulb and the glass. We're getting close. Alright, let's see, maybe the top view is now the way to go. Alright, so if we're going to build a circle at the origin, it's going to be 0.25 inches. So this is the rod. Now we're going to move this out. Say that's at 8 inches. Does that look right? Maybe it's at another inch. Maybe it was at 9 inches. That doesn't look too bad. Alright, so if that is 10 inches, that's another 10, say there. I think I've got. I think I magically made this about right, but I might be a little a little wide. So this is where that move face command MF is going to come into play. So I'm gonna move this more than I intend because I'm going to move it down as well. So I think I've got this off by maybe ½ an inch. That is a lot. Okay, so maybe it's not that much. Maybe it's ½ of an inch. Okay, and that moves down ½ of an inch. And now we'll just mirror it. It's a little delicate. Alright, so now we're going to extrude this thing. I'd say 14 inches. Okay, so far, everything we've done, we've kept on the same material and this default material, which makes absolutely no sense. But so let's call this the metal, or yeah, this is metal 1. I mean, we're going to have another metal with the shield or the scrim. So metal 1 should be metal fixture. I mean, that's a better term. And then we'll have another one, which is metal scrim. I don't know what you'd call that, shield. And then we're going to have glass. And I don't know what else. I mean, you can see the bulb. I don't know, we might render that. Okay, cool. And other things. Oh, we should change these. So this is going to be more of a gray. This is probably remain still black or dark gray. Glass. Glass would be glass. And yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, so okay, so now we've got the major armature for the fixture done. Let's take a look at what is next. Okay, so should we, alright. So we got to build a cylinder, and we have to build this kind of glass piece. I guess next might be the cylinder, so again we'll build it off of that. It looks like it's 2.5. Maybe it is also 2.5. And let's say that this is coming out, let's say 8 inches, let's say that. So it's down here. and that is the different material. One thing that is important, and I guess I've already gone through it in your stair project, but get these layers to be actually the color of your materials. Just makes you a better designer. Alright. I'm not sure I got that perfectly. I don't know. It feels like it's a little low. It may have been like more like 12 inches. This whole thing's kind of extruding a little far out. I mean, it's good. It's good for now, but I think if I looked at the specs of this light fixture, I think I've extended this too far out and I've dropped this too far down. I mean, I think that instead of, this may have not been 10 inches, it may be more like 8. But good enough for what we're doing at the moment. I think I'll let you guys, when you guys customize your own pieces, and you'll make them whatever you want to make them. Alright, so for now it's pretty good. Let's see, move edge. This thing's too bad. That's better. That's better. So I'm using move edge here, so I can change. If you've ever used SketchUp, it kind of gives you the feel that it's kind of a little bit like SketchUp for what you're doing at the moment. So let me see what thing we have. That. Cool. Let's see, then we have this little cap guy. I'm capping it just to give it a solid form. Alright, so there's that. It probably needs to be thicker. Okay, so this is looking a lot closer to reality. Okay, so now we have the bulb of the glass piece. Let's see. What's the easiest, best way to do this? Alright, so let's get line drawn. Okay, let's see. That is 6 inches, so this whole thing is another, it's like a 12-inch. Almost 12 inches. Alright, so this, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so if I move this up 3 inches, okay, and I offset that. So if that's 12, if I third that, so 4 inches, the whole thing, so that'd be 2 inches offset, both sides. Yeah. Okay, and then this looks, it just thirds it, so that would be, if this whole thing's 4 inches, maybe it's just okay. So, and then let's see, so I'm thinking the major geometry is roughly that. So if I use that tool, this may or may not work out. Not quite. Not quite. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. Let's make it more simple geometry. Let's see, 1 inch. And get rid of these extra curves. Now that I don't need them. Well, keep that one. Alright, so I think at this point what we can do is we can move these up. Yeah, that's feeling a lot closer. I think I went a little too far, honestly. I think we gotta go half that distance. Okay. Alright, so now we really, all we need to do is to get the part that we really wanted, which is that. Alright, let's make sure this is in the right place. Yeah, I figured it wasn't. Okay, so now if we do surface revolve with an axes, that should be good to go. All right. Cool. We need to create a light bulb. And, you know, if you wanted to get these kind of fittings modeled, I think that would be cool. I'm not going to do it for this demo. I mean, I've probably gone way over the top anyway. Alright, so now we have the basic structure, except for a light bulb. So let's do that, and we'll call it quits. Length is so it's a 2.5-inch bulb. So 1 inch. Oops. Rotate that. That just gives me a good sense of what it's going to look like, or the size of it. Let's see what I can do with this. That's probably pretty close. All right. Excuse me. That doesn't look right. Bummer. All right. You see what happened? I kind of got snap happy. So one thing you can do, and I think you may have already seen this, is that we can project this to the C plane. Delete it, sure. Okay. So now let's find out where it's at. Okay, let's revolve. Okay, I think we've got the makings of a decent light fixture. I think the thing we haven't addressed really is this scrim. So that's a good question. What are we going to do there?